Welcome to the Nightlight Christian Adoption Agency, home to the Snowflake program.
The Snowflake program is an embryo adoption program that allows people who have embryos in frozen storage to offer those embryos to another couple for adoption.
When a couple chooses to freeze their embryos, they're stored in cryotanks like these. There's no limit on how long an embryo can be frozen. Some have even been stored for more than 15 years and still resulted in successful pregnancies. John and Marlene Strieg became the first couple to adopt an embryo through the Snowflake program.
We feel like we honored God because we did adopt an embryo that already existed. We had nothing to do with her creation. She needed a home. We needed a child.
3 adopted embryos were transferred to Marlene on April 11, 1998. On December 31st, Hannah was born.
When I saw her, I just thought that she was the most beautiful baby I'd ever seen.
Now a healthy and happy 15-year-old, Hannah learned about her unique story at an early age.
She was about 5 and in kindergarten, and they were planting seeds.
My mom had bought this package of seeds, and she planted them and froze them, and she's like, that was you. You were frozen. You were a frozen seed. And we put that seed in my tummy to grow.
So she had that visualization and visual concept of a seed and how tiny a seed is. And she was so tiny. And I used to say, and only God could see you. You were so tiny. And she used to say, Mommy, tell me that part of the story again. Tell me about how tiny I was.
Lord Jesus, be our guest.
Once you have your child, all the pieces fit together. And you're going, oh, that's where my child was at.
On average, 1 snowflake baby is born every 10 days. Still, there are a very limited number of people who know about frozen embryo adoption, and the number of embryos going into storage continues to rise.
We believe that life begins at conception, which means as soon as the embryo is created. And for many of these, or for these embryos, they've been placed in frozen storage, and that process of developing, being born, growing into adulthood, has been halted and interrupted.
Tom and Annabelle Peterson wanted life for their extra embryos. After years of trying to get pregnant, they were successful with in vitro, and then blessed with a surprise.
Our firstborn was Andy, and we had him in 2007. So after that, a year after Andy was born, I found out I was pregnant.
After the birth of their second son, Lucas, the Petersons decided to stop trying to conceive. But God had other plans.
So a year later, after Lucas was born, I found out I was pregnant with Louisa. So in 4 years, we had 3 kids.
Still, 6 of Tom and Annabelle's embryos remained frozen. After much individual prayer, they decided together to donate those embryos for adoption.
It would break my heart knowing that I was giving up on the child and letting go of the child. And it broke my heart. But then I realized, and it just came to me, is that that's my selfishness.
It's almost like I heard a voice, or call it a conscious thought, or God speaking to me. They're not yours, Annabelle. And that thought just came to my heart, and it just gave me such peace.
God matched Tom and Annabelle's donated embryos with parents that could give them life. Meet Amos. He's biologically the Petersons, but his parents are Bert and Karina.
They're just wonderful people. Oh my goodness. They're so happy, and just seeing them with that child and just knowing what they're experiencing, and it's just beautiful.
Amos's parents agreed to an open adoption, so Tom and Annabelle are able to watch as he grows.
You have so much joy and so much peace from your decision, but is there still some pain?
When he gets old enough and sees that, he realizes that that's not his biological dad, and he's going to go, well, who's my real biological parents? And if he has this thought that, like, his parents don't love him, didn't love him, and they gave him up, it's like, I think about that, I'm like,
That hurts.
it's so far from the truth. Because I love the kid so much, and it's not even, I'm not the father to the kid, but I love him so much, and that pains me that he might experience that.
Tom and Annabelle say that just as with the children they gave birth to, they've always loved their embryos. And it's because of that love that they chose to give them life. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, San Diego, California.